is Tuesday, the 15th day of March 2022. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me on today's edition of Prime News Live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. My name is Fon Quinter. I begin today's edition of news in the Central region with this good news where a 36-year-old lady has put forth a set of quintuplets at the Ewane General Hospital. The babies are under the watchful eyes of medical personnel. Meanwhile, Public Health Minister Dr. Malachi has promised to take care of the woman's bills. Nora Kakebe completes the story.
A woman in the nation's capital city, Yaoundé, has given birth to 5 children. This joyous incident happened yesterday, Monday, March 14th, at the General Hospital in Yaoundé in the central region of the country. The woman in her early 30s, who was the heroine of the day, is seemingly out of any danger. According to reports gathered, the pregnancy and delivery process were managed with relative ease by the medical personnel. It should be noted that the birth of over 5 children by one mother is quite a rare phenomenon in Cameroon. While appreciating and lauding the efforts of health personnel for their wonderful role throughout the delivery process, Public Health Minister Malachi has therefore made necessary provisions for the lady's bills to be handled by the state until she leaves the hospital. As of now, all 5 children are still in the incubator under the strict supervision of medical personnel. They want to ensure that the babies remain sound and healthy.
We planify a cesarean section at 35 weeks, but the children decide to come at 32 weeks, so they are premature babies. So when you have premature babies, it is not always easy. But the operation took place this morning. We kept 2 babies at the Yaoundé General Hospital, and we sent also 3 babies to the Chantal Biya Foundation.
This good news has left several Cameroonians acknowledging the goodness and greatness of God, not forgetting to appreciate the efforts of the nurses and doctors.
Municipal authorities in Bamenda 1 subdivision, northwest region of Cameroon are calling on Izakam officials and city council authorities to respect the decision by creating waste disposal sites in all subdivisions. They channeled their worries to the new divisional officer of Bamenda 1 doing his contact or details right ahead. A site described by the people of Bamenda, where a locality in Bamenda 1 subdivision as their sacred shrine, a place they commune with their ancestors, has been transformed to a waste disposal site.
This thunder will come out tomorrow. No Isaac will drop anything here tomorrow. The whole of this village is coming out tomorrow to stop all
No, they have done that already. We've stopped you guys not to come here. If you are coming already. Tell them that is the mayor who has said it. If you are coming here, you are coming at their own risk.
These authorities channeled their worries to the new divisional officer of Bamenda 1 Barnabas, doing his contact for to acquaint himself with the different administrative units. According to notables and municipal authorities, officials of Bamenda 1, 2, 3 and City Council, plus officials of Izakam, had agreed every municipality should create a waste disposal site, a decision that have not been respected.
They have asked all the council areas to look for their own place to their dump site. They are dumping the refuse here and it's going to the water. People are digging down. How can you carry this coming up upstairs and then it's still going back down the ground? It's still going back to the city. You take everything back to town. And not only that, this is our tradition, this is our
shrine. This is the shrine of Bamenda that we believe our forefathers passed on and they are staying here.
The people of Bamenda say dumping waste on the shrine is an insult and a sign of disrespect for their ancestral values.
We believe our forefathers in Bamenda, when they pass on, they live in this shrine. So, in our fund, our fund is not sleeping because we believe in our forefathers who are living by the shrine here. This order here, the residentials around here have packed out. It is really a nuisance. We agreed in a meeting in the city council with the city mayor that Bamenda 3 will look for their dump site, Bamenda 2 will look for their dump site, and Bamenda 1 will look for their dump site, but not in a big shrine like this.
As the people express their anger, 2 trucks belonging to the waste disposal company Izakam spotted dumping refuse on the set side, a situation which further sparked an outburst of anger.
Council area.
They have to come and clear this up for us. They dump like this, they'll come with a bulldozer, they push it down to the
I passed here the other week. I discovered that they were inside the water.
At press time, all attempts to get the reaction of the city mayor did not yield fruit. Health teachers have continued to express their grievances, calling on government to improve their working conditions and pay package. Catherine Okongwe with updates on the strike action in some schools in the west region of the country.
It is over 4 weeks now since teachers have been protesting for the payment of their wages. Despite government efforts to solve the problem, teachers are yet to give up in their protests. This is Government Bilingual High School Toket Bafusam, where some students are focused in carrying out practicals out of their own initiative, and others are sleeping as teachers are not yet satisfied with the presidential decree.
It is not actually that we proceeding with civil disobedience. The head of state has listened to the teachers and has come out with measures. But when you look at what is happening, the measures are not sufficient. The teachers for long have been crying and calling on the state for the application of the special status. We expected that as a father who loves everyone in this nation, he should go ahead and ask for the application of this special status. For we know that it was signed for 22 years ago, but the application is still pending.
Still in Bafusam, teachers of Government Bilingual High School Ngwache could be seen in small groupings in front of their classes, discussing while students are seated in class with no lectures going on. Speaking with the principal of Government Bilingual High School Ngwache, he assures the teachers that the situation is under control.
Important measure coming from our state, signed by the Deputy General Secretary of the President of the Republic, giving to the teacher many advantages according to their strike. And among those advantages, you know that their salary will be complete. You know that they were taking 2/3 of their salary. And then the decision now is that they will have the whole salary completely. Then this decision is give the smile to our teachers. And then many of them are happy for this decision, are waiting for the application of this decision. And you know that the salary will be out by the end of the month.
In a way to help students while waiting for appropriate solutions from the government, private classes are ongoing in the neighborhood to catch up classes lost. And now the question goes, what of those who cannot afford for these classes?
Katrina Kongwe reports in the now women in Fundongboyo division of the Northwest region have reiterated their call for peace in the two English-speaking regions of the country. Charles Kiwa completes the story from Bamenda.
Women in Fundongboyo division of the Northwest have reiterated their call for peace in the two Anglophone regions. The women who took firm commitment during the International Women's Day to join their voices to that of their peers to make their society move forward, with both men and women ensure a positive change for a better Fundong and Boyo division. Celebrating while showcase the various rich produce to products doing well in the municipality, Mayor Ndang Dennis Awu of Fundong Council implored the women, majority in society who have decided to be taken over by fear and has refused to be resilient in the face of wanton threats and persecution. The mayor encouraged the women in his municipality all is not lost, as they can still turn their back from old habits and pool their resources as women together in order to stand up and be counted as equal to men. He challenged them to achieve equality between her, the Fundong woman, and Fundong man today for a sustainable tomorrow. Boyo SDO Fidel Tinie, who chaired the event, admiring the dynamism of Boyo women because of their courage, called on the Boyo women to be the messenger for peace, given they are the pillar for development and reliable.
Ambassadors for peace building, peace loving and peacekeeping, so that tomorrow all of us, we will be able to undertake all activities and work for the sustainability of Boyo Division. Thank you. I wish you once more memorable International Women's Day in Fundong, Belo, Ginicom, and Boom Subdivision. Thank you very much.
Said the Boyo woman's effort, if supported by the men of good faith, Boyo can move forward, and the socio-political upheaval, a story of the past. The women were encouraged with awards and different prizes to enhance developed sustainability.
From the Northwest region, let's move over to the Southwest region, where many civilians were arrested and briefly detained in Kumba in a special operation led by the 21st Military Infant Battalion. The operation, according to the military officials, was aimed at identifying separatist fighters and sensitizing others to drop their weapons. Tamfu Sudan completes the story from Kumba.
These people were randomly picked up on Friday, 11 March 2022 in villages along the Kumbambonge Road by elements of the 21st Motorized Infantry Battalion and ferried to Kumba in a special operation aimed at identifying separatist fighters. At the Kumba Central Police Station, where they were briefly detained, the operation turned into a sensitization campaign by the Defense and Security Forces led by Colonel Onambele, who told them that the operation was not aimed at causing pains on the civilians arrested, but a move to sort out those cooperating with the separatists.
It's not to worry you, it's to protect you.
He told them to rather cooperate with the forces of law and order and the defense forces in order to stop what he termed atrocious activities of the separatists in Meme Division.
Aiming at those who are not with us, they have to go to them and explain to them and bring them back and build peace together.
The civilians were later on addressed by an ex-separatist fighter, Nasari Clovis, who told them to cooperate with the defense forces, stating the military is there to protect the civilians.
So this operation was carried out by the military, not to hurt the people, but to sort out those people, those criminals, those hoodlums that are disturbing the people, the civilians, disturbing the peace of this nation. The operation was not to hurt the people. You can testify how those people said that nobody touched them and nothing happened, and they will free them. So due to that operation, they need to talk to the people to understand why they gather them, they bring them together to talk to them, to educate them.
He also stated that the struggle to separate Cameroon will never come to pass. Clovis used the opportunity to call on his former colleagues to drop their weapons and embrace peace.
There's not two ways. They should drop their arms for their own lives, because Cameroon can never divide. Those people in diaspora or those people in the country, in this country, are using this thing to make their money, they're deceiving them. So what I have to tell them is that they should think at their own family, at their own life. They have a life to live.
The military commander also talked to the media, stating that the operation was aimed at identifying armed separatists and sensitizing the people to advise those in the bushes to drop their weapons.
And that specific operation is just to reassure the population, to tell them to collaborate, to give information to the forces so that you can put them in a safe security situation.
At press time, the commander said all those speaked up were going to be freed, except those who were working for the separatist movement.
They will free all of you. When you are a good people, you will just go back.
Sons and daughters of Nguti have decided to sink their differences by embracing unity and development. They met in Yaoundé recently under the banner of All Nguti People's Conference and vowed to effect a development in their homeland. Tamfu Sudan once again.
Meeting in Yaoundé recently under the banner of All Ngoti People's Conference, sons and daughters of the subdivision have vowed to unite in order to put to effect the much-needed development in their homeland.
Ngoti has a new face in everything you think of. The last will become the highest.
Participants jointly admitted that working in political, social, and cultural camps has denied the subdivision of the much-needed development, and they believe the splitter groups breed hatred, witch hunting, and other vices that have abated under development in the area. The much needed unity could only be gotten through the revival of a sociocultural umbrella association, the Ngoti Cultural and Development Association Ngoskuda, which has been inactive for some time.
I've been in other areas, especially now I see how the development associations work. I see how the elites and the sons and daughters come together despite the differences.
The conference was single-handedly sponsored by Mr. Ndo Johnson Okie, Director of the National Hydrocarbon Price Stabilization Corporation CSPH. Honorable Fonge Julius, MP for Ngoti, handled the organization of the entire program that brought together delegates from 9 clans and 54 villages that make up the Ngoti subdivision.
Ngoti should sit up. Then it was time for Ngoti to have structures that the sons and daughters could rely on.
Conspicuously present at the one-day confer was the new board chairman of CDC and a bona fide son of Ngoti, Mr. Hope Sona Ebae, who says the act of developing Ngoti is democratic and will also affect decentralization.
We should be active in it and make sure that we use all our talents and resources to build the nation, because once we build ourselves, we're actually building the nation.
The mayor of Ngoti, Tong Josh Eno, expressed hopes and says it will bring development to the Ngoti population.
All the 9 clans of Ngoti are highly represented. The elites are equally there, and the chiefs.
Mr. Ndo announced the floating of a microfinance institution for Ngoti in the coming months, calling on all to be on board. Other major developmental openings were discussed. Committees were also created to review some of the obsolete articles, propose measures to stimulate the economy of Ngoti and revive the sociocultural activities in the area. Senator Agnes Ntubenjok, some 15 chiefs and 8 regions were present at the conference, taking place far from home, but pregnant with good things for the Ngoti population.
Councillors of the Southwest Regional Assembly held their first ordinary session dedicated for the examination and adoption of the 2021 financial year. The session was chaired by the Governor of the Southwest Region, Bernard Ukalabilas Kuma Honorethosus.
The Governor of the Southwest Region, Bernard Okalia Bilai, has challenged the population to own and use structures put in place at their disposal for vandals not to take hostage of the structures and destroy them. Governor Bernard Okalia was speaking recently during the first ordinary session of the Southwest Regional Assembly, where he presented a special report on the activities carried out by decongested state services in the region for the 2021 fiscal year. During the 2021 fiscal year, 36 billion francs CFA was allocated for the Southwest region, with close to 10 billion managed by regional and local authorities. The greatest share of the projects were executed by local councils, with 317 of the 384 allocated projects earmarked for the region executed by local councils, and only 67 projects by decongested state services. Going by Governor Bernard Okalia, of the 384 projects allocated for the region, 369 were effectively realized, making an execution rate of 82.5%. He added that the high level of execution is as a result of some councils recording 100% realization in the physical execution of their budget. He regretted the fact that other councils like Menji, Toko, Dikombe Balui recorded a decimal percentage of realization due to poor road network and the socio-political crisis, which has made their municipalities almost inaccessible.
It is possible to see some particular localities well-developed, whereas others do not benefit a single project to be carried out. Our government decided to distribute the little resources in possession in such a way that every community can benefit.
On his part, the president of the Southwest Regional Assembly, Honorable Bakoma Elango Zaccheus, urged councillors to always submit reports of all sessions to the Regional Executive Council for proper follow-up. He attempted to answer some of the questions raised by the regional councillors during the session and enjoined them to come up with projects that would develop the Southwest region.
The populations of the Southwest region should be open. Last year we earmarked 21 projects. This year we have about 54 projects. So we think that the population should collaborate with our collaborators and the companies which will be on the field to execute these projects to better the lot of the people of the Southwest region.
The close to 7 hours intense deliberations saw the breaking into committees, presentation of reports of the various committees, as well as resolutions and recommendations to foster the development of the Southwest region.
Cameroon joined the International Commonwealth family to commemorate the 2022 Commonwealth Day. The event, which took place under the theme Delivering a Common Future, Connecting, Innovating and Transformation, has also seen the recognition of some outstanding Cameroonians in championing Commonwealth activities across the country. Nolinga completes the story.
Doing shining, it's what you have in you inside. Official activities to commemorate this year's edition of the Commonwealth Day have been chaired by the Minister Delegate at the Ministry of External Relations in charge of Commonwealth activities, Felix Mbanyu, at the ministry's courtyard in Yaoundé. Over 8 cabinet ministers and some members of the diplomatic corps took part in the profound cultural ceremony. On his part, Felix Mbanyu has regarded the celebrations as an honor, particularly this year, as it came just a day after Cameroon celebrated its Multiculturalism and Diversity Day. Breaking down the theme, the Minister Delegate further said this day highlights how the 54 countries in the Commonwealth family are innovating, connecting and transforming to help achieve some of its biggest goals, like protecting natural resources and boosting trade ties.
You have to wake up. This is a wake-up call for young people. And I tell you again, everybody has a place in the Commonwealth.
By the end of the ceremony, prizes were awarded to outstanding learners who have been participating in different activities during the Commonwealth Week.
Now, sons and daughters of So under the Fon Facebook platform have honored one of their, Steve Nzerem Jodzika, CEO of Shumas. He was given the title Ta for Me Kibariwo after emerging winner of the Soul Leadership Award 2021. Charles Kiba completes the story from Bamenda.
Sons and daughters of Nso Extraction Bui Division of the Northwest region of Cameroon under the Fon Facebook platform with headquarters in Washington, D.C., USA, have honored one of theirs, Stephen Nzerem Nzozeka, CEO of Shumas, as Ta Mfomi Kibariwo, for his indelible mark impacting his community and engagements carried out in the various fandoms in Nso and his personal relationship with the Nso people in general.
Like they have written on the award, they are saying that it is the Nso community that is recognizing the work that Time for Me has been doing. So we want to encourage them to also go ahead and look at other domains, culturally, development-wise and otherwise, because the Nso man was born a developer. So, and if they are giving for me, we encourage them to give other people who are also developing taller.
The ceremony marked 12, 2022 at his upstation resident by the full group Bamenda, representing the Fon Facebook platform with over 50,000 members, uniting Nsoda with Fon Kong. Dr. Fai As, founder, said,
It was his president Nsoda. Part of it was his being the director of Shumas. He was chosen because of what he has done for the community. The level of engagement that he has been carrying out in the different conducts of SOM, his personal relationship with the SOM people in general and to the Cameroonian community in particular.
The Director of Strategic Humanitarian Services, Shuma's indelible mark in impacting communities in Southland, constructed schools dotted throughout Cameroon.
If you take, for example, education, we have built more than 800 classrooms all over the country. I think there's no other NGO that has done that for the whole of Cameroon. And in terms of water, lots of water projects. In terms of agriculture, lots of different projects. And I think the fact that I built Shumasi, I pulled it off my mind, I put it on the ground, and is able to achieve what it's achieving, I think is something to write home about.
Thanking those who are close to his heart, receiving the winner of Nso Leadership Award for 2021, Shumas Ta Nfomi Kibariwo Stephen Nzerem Nzoteka said, "There is nothing as good as you walk and someone taps your back with a recognition."
And the thank especially Fon Kong, who was my right-hand man in the development station. I think he stood by me, he worked with me. There are lots of things that we planned together. And what I can say is congratulations to them. Because like I say, pulling some people together is not easy. And the fact that he was able to create this group and he was able to pull people along and he was able to start this initiative is a wonderful initiative that can only come from very visionary persons.
The award he dedicated to his late father and sister, Ta Nfomi Kibariwo Stephen Nzerem Nsotika, promise, be it rain or sunshine, will remain on his objective and mission to ensure a sustainable climate for all, using the various programs of Shumas.
The Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manawuda Malachi, has once again warned that his identity is being used for fraud and scam purposes. In a press release signed on March 11, 2022, Mr. Malachi indicated that people have multiplied fake WhatsApp profiles and other fake accounts on social media in recent months. Speaking of the fraud case of 10 million francs ever pending in court and in which the multinational Orange Cameroon is mentioned, Manawuda Malachi specified that the scammers have at the same time set up schemes to get in touch with citizens, extorting money from them through fake public contracts, amongst other things. Mr. Malachi says investigations are ongoing and the perpetrators will be brought to book. And Public Health Minister Malachi has launched a campaign to fight malaria in the country. The Stop Malaria campaign, launched on March 10 at the Yaoundé Conference Center, is under the patronage of Madame Chantabiak Audrey Zaza with details.
Malaria, a life-threatening disease caused by Plasmodium parasites, which has spread to people through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes, especially at night. A disease common in the African continent and which can be prevented and cured if diagnosed early. But despite measures to curb the disease, limited resources and socio-economic instability have made malaria control difficult. In Cameroon, figures from the Public Health Ministry revealed that at least 6 million infections and 4,000 from malaria are recorded yearly in the country. In 2021, malaria accounted for 30% of consultations compared to 29% in 2019, but death rate has dropped from 17.2% in 2020 to 14.3% in 2021. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Public Health has collaborated with other partners to launch the Stop Malaria campaign. The national advocacy campaign Stop Malaria, Women and Children at the Heart of the Fight, which was launched on March 11 in the nation's capital, is an initiative of the First Lady of Cameroon, the national malaria matron. The campaign, which is thus taking place under the patronage of Mrs. Chantal Bier, seeks to obtain the commitment and support of stakeholders at all levels to carry out activities in the fight against malaria in the country, an approach which, according to Minister Manauda Malachi, is in line with public health policy inspired by the head of state to eradicate pandemic diseases as well as ensuring that Cameroonians are in good state of health. While acknowledging the commitments of everybody, especially international partners in curbing malaria in Cameroon, Manauda Malachi said the campaign will work towards bringing everyone on board, mobilize resources against the pandemic, ensure preventive measures in eradicating the disease so that the most vulnerable group, that is, pregnant women and children below 5, will be protected. Through this campaign intended to run for 1 year, the government therefore hopes that the death rates due to malaria cases will drop considerably. Cameroonians have equally been called upon to clean up their environment and use mosquito nets to avoid contracting the disease.
We've come to the end of today's edition of Prime News on My Media, Prime Television. Coming up next is Prime Hour with Kum Leonard and his team. My name is Fon Quinter. Have a great evening in the company of more programs on the African Eye. Good night.